When you are abroad, you may want to visit the areas surrounding your hotel or the places you will visit the most. In this lecture, we discuss the behavior that is meant to keep you safe when you find yourself in places that you do not know that well. We will make a distinction between behavior in indoor environments, such as a shopping mall, and behavior in outdoor environments, such as a market square. There is a substantial difference between these two types of environments from the point of view of personal safety. In indoor environments, it is easier to keep track of what happens around you. This may prove more difficult in outdoor places because there may be no controls about the number of people on site. Living in indoor environments, when everyone is rushing for the exit, may be more difficult than in the case of outdoor places. However, in indoor environments, the exits may be clearly marked, which does not usually happen for outdoor environments. Let us start with some general advice that holds regardless of the type of environment where you find yourself. Suppose you visit a shopping mall or a market square. There are 5 general issues to consider. The position of your starting point. Before you leave your place for the first time, find a way to keep track of its position. For instance, take a close look at a map. Pin down your starting point and understand the directions back from the points of destination. Clothing. Regardless of the fashion habits of the local population, it is wise to refrain from wearing clothes that attract any unwanted attention. Large crowds. It is appropriate to avoid large crowds if there is no clear and visible reason for the gathering. Make sure you can understand why people are there before passing by. In countries where protests are not allowed or badly tolerated, spontaneous crowds of people could generate a substantial source of risk. Checking the local news. You should regularly keep an eye on the local news before leaving the hotel. Understanding the general context of both the surrounding areas and the specific place that you will visit. This will provide you with a broad idea on the potential sources of risk. You should ask yourself whether you will visit a residential area or an industrial area. You should think about whether it is a public sector building. You may expect to find a large or a limited flow of visitors. You may visit a place where people go for drinks or where other activities are carried out. It is important to check whether mobile phones work in the area. Finally, you may go where foreigners choose to go very rarely or where there are a lot of foreign visitors. So let's focus on types of behavior recommended in indoor environments. From the point of view of personal safety, moving within an indoor environment may be quite different from standing still. These two types of actions can generate an exposure to very different risks. You should think about where you expect to stop moving and about how long you're eventually planning to stay there. Suppose you find yourself inside a restaurant. Suppose something that makes you feel unsafe happens, or that you notice something that can put your safety at risk. As a first rational reaction, you should look around quickly and move to a space that allows you to get out of that environment in safe conditions. This is the so-called safety space. It is the space around your position that allows you to move to a safer spot. It has to do with the possible exit routes from an indoor environment and with the specific obstacles that are placed on the ways towards the exits. The importance of thinking about the safety space is related to the perception of risk. It has to do with factors that may not be known or be planned in advance. It depends on what you see and experience on the spot. Most important, it depends on your gut feeling about the current situation. For example, in an indoor environment, it is good practice to sit in a place where you see as much as possible about the surrounding environment and from where you can walk out easily. You are now well aware of the idea that your perception on the spot should raise alarm bells. These warning signs should drive your behavior in a rational manner, but the behavior you may actually hold could turn up as very different from what is advisable. Regardless of how deep thinking you may be under normal circumstances, you may find yourself in stressful situations. You may react based on mere instincts and feelings. Try to keep in mind that personal safety does not mean only gut feeling. It also means self-control. Regarding outdoor environments, it is advisable to walk along ways that allow you to keep an eye on the main streets of transit, depending on your perception of risk on the spot. When you stop, it is best to stay at the center of an open space. There is a simple reason. It makes sense to be in spots that provide you with the largest degree of visibility about what happens around you. Suppose you notice that the police gathers and intervenes near the spot where you find yourself. Let's assume you understand that there is a specific target for the police intervention and that your presence goes unnoticed. You should walk away along a direction that is orthogonal to the one from where the police arrives. In relation to the gravity of the circumstances, it is important to never give an impression that you are rushing away. In case the police stops you, common sense should prevail. It is advisable to behave in the same way you would deal with a police control in your home country. Albeit difficult, it always pays off to exercise self-control and behave in a respectful manner. In this lecture, I have introduced general principles and guidelines for behavior that apply to a broad range of circumstances. There are things you should do in order to minimize the actual or potential safety risks. This is the case also when extreme events happen, such as a terroristic attack or a natural disaster. In these circumstances, the principle of prudence indicates that you should follow what the authorities indicate. They may be better informed than you about the current event. They may have specific plans in store to handle the situation in an orderly fashion, thus protecting your safety too.